All right, here we are. What's up, buddy?
Uh, Not too much.
So, the reason why I wanted to get you on today is to catch up. It's been a little bit. Let everybody know about the life of Grippler, Ian Carnegie, and to talk about the really awesome match that's coming up. That's the
Yeah.
big one. Yeah. So, how you
Well,
been?
I've been okay, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And thanks for putting this on ArmBet. Hopefully it'll generate some interest. Okay. So my last match of any kind of meaning was the Toronto Pro Super Show 2019. So it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot go on in my life in those 2 years. And I'd say since about February, I started turning things around. I met a good woman, and she's super supportive, loves arm wrestling. And it takes a lot of stress off of my life,
Yeah.
and so I was like, maybe I should just give this another shot. So I went up to practice around that time in Pembroke, and Curtis was there. And let me tell you something. I was shocked at how strong he was.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything with him. I mean, when I say I couldn't do anything with him, I couldn't do anything with him. And it really pissed me off. I was like, oh my goodness. And he's got, only 3 years into the sport. And so he inspired me and pissed me off at the same time, but full respect. Do you know what I mean? And so then I got called out by Dalen Thomas. And so I started training a little bit. I thought, all right, that'll be a nice warm-up match. But things with COVID happened and nobody really was putting on anything, and that kind of fell through because through my training, I think it got pretty evident quickly that it wasn't going to be close anyway. So we kiboshed that. But, I kept training, not super serious. But then, I was talking to Curtis, and he's like, I can't find a match for this event, on the 31st. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Nobody wants to pull you. And that's what I believe. I believe Curtis is one of these guys where he's so strong and you don't really gain much from beating him because nobody knows who he is. You know what I mean? It's and you can lose everything with him.
Wow.
And you can lose bad and embarrassing in fashion. You know what I mean?
Everybody around here knows who Curtis is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But the risk I'm taking in terms of reputation for this is crazy, because a lot of people I'm reading on Facebook and oh, Grippler easy, this and that. I'm like, Grippler's done nothing. You know what I mean? Forever. And this guy's been cellar dwelling, training every day, 3 times a day, like Rocky Balboa. And it's I truly believe he's stronger than I am, and I believe he's the favorite, but I understand that a lot of people think that would be crazy because of my experience level and stuff like that. But I'm going to say this is a toss-up. Now, since I agreed to pull him, I've been trying to train like Rocky Balboa. My gym is set up in my dining room, so that when I'm being lazy and I'm on the couch, I just look over there, and you know what I mean? The gym's in my face. So I'm like, I'm in there, I'm training every day. I go for walks. I'm trying to watch what I eat. I'm just being very, very professional about this approach, because I totally believe if I'm not within 5%, he's going to make me look very, very, I truly believe that. So, guys can say I'm trying to hype this, or this is what I honestly believe. And the reason I took it is, well, for one, I know he's a worthy adversary. You know what I mean? He's deserving. He lost to Rick Heidebrecht. Now, there's some stuff with that, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'm not Rick Heidebrecht. You know what I mean? Like, I do well with Rick only because I have a decade plus in pulling him. So we go back and forth. I have knowledge that he's yet to gain for pull, and Rick is such a unique puller, and he's like the perfect kryptonite for Curtis, right? You know, super lever, incredible wrist, and top roller, the whole bit. And just because I do well with Rick doesn't mean that I'm going to do well. I'm short enough that Curtis can get a bite on me, and pull me into his strength. Yeah. And I'm fully aware of that. So I'm just mind dumping that whole thing that I saw with Rick, because I'm not Rick. And I'm going to go out there and do the very best I can, because I do have a worthy opponent. And win, lose, or draw, the fact that I'm putting so much effort into my training, I'm just going to keep it up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to keep it up and give like a good effort this year. I want to go to the States when the borders open, and I want to shout out to Chance Shaw today.
Wow. Wow. They made it look easy.
He did. He really did. Like, yeah. I was kind of like, I thought Don Underwood would win only because, we know what his potential was.
Yeah.
And he's done.
It's a roll of the dice, man, with that guy sometimes. Like,
yeah,
he can win it, and he could do how he did. And, it wouldn't, neither one of them is a surprise to me.
But the fact that he won, I don't want to be disrespectful and say effortlessly, but he didn't seem to struggle on anything. No. Like, I'm sure there was tons of pressure and tension, but he was in control, and like, not to copy Don Underwood saying, but like Chance Shaw, I never was afraid to pull Chance Shaw. You know what I mean? People have talked about it, and I was always like, really? Like, now I'm like, man, I'm the underdog in that, like, for sure.
Well, he just cleared out 3 big names without any problem. And that's the thing. I mean, when we were talking about, we were like leading up to this whole thing, it was the whole, hey, I'm speaking as Chance right now. If I beat all these guys, I want a shot at, I think he said Jerry,
Jesus.
like, what are we talking about here? Is Chance Shaw going to beat Jerry?
I'm going to say he has a potential, but I wouldn't put my money on it. And I'm so tired of doubting Chance. I feel like
here's the thing. 23 years old.
Yeah.
Right now he's 295.
Yeah.
Okay. He's arm wrestling pretty much every day. Like, I don't know what to think anymore. I pulled him probably almost a year ago now, maybe like 8 months. And I remember talking to him at that time because he had his upcoming match with Ron. And I was like, dude, you're not going to beat Ron. I said, you're awesome. I said, you're doing really good. Like, cause he is, I'm like, but you're not going to beat Ron yet. And now I'm like, I think he'll kill Ron. Yeah.
That went so high. Like, Jerry's a top 4 in the WAL. I thought he'd go for some low hanging fruit like myself.
I think he's skipping just because. Look at, and I don't want to speak for anybody. I think there's a ton of good matches for Chance right now. I feel like Chance has got like basically whoever, but
if he goes, say he beats Jerry, right now, he's bottlenecked himself into very
Levon,
and like, that's the thing, right? And what has he got to look forward to? Like, you and you know what I'm saying, Michael Todd, like, and that might be too much of a jump for him, but he'd get more if his goal is to be in the WAL, then he should start with some of those guys. Right away, it's already a short list. Like, look at who he just beat. Yeah.
Like, who? I mean, after that, the air starts to get a bit thinner.
It's not a bad thing to do a lateral moves, like, say, to me. And if he beats me, then because then he just gets more matches, more chance for, and he can. I agree. he's too in a hurry to go to the top, there's a lot of bad things that can happen to him. You know what I mean? Even if he's successful in the initial one,
Yeah.
you get what I mean? Like, how about he builds himself confidence? I mean, I'm sure he's confident, but get those lower rung guys, middle of the road, you know, and then once he gets 2 or 3 wins there, then he takes on Jerry. Even if he's it's like, he's still, why not make a, you know, 20 grand on your way to Jerry?
Sure. And I think that's probably what's going to happen, because I doubt that Jerry's going to be in a hurry to arm wrestle him. So, you know, he's probably going to have a lot of options presented to him, and, you know, being 23 and, you know, eager. And I mean, he's been really active. Like, he's pulling like all the time. So
I'd be interested in pulling him. I mean, he's got to get through that.
There's no way. Okay, so coming back to your match, it's interesting, you know, leading up to this whole thing, and I've obviously known you forever, and I've seen you kind of move through this sport. I've, you know, obviously you've been a training partner of mine. I've kind of watched everything.
Well, you brought me into, right? Really?
I mean, I feel like you were already in it. I just kind of got you, you know, more into the deep end. But I think that you are really good right now. Like, I've felt you a lot over the years, and I do think that everything that you said is true. I feel like you had a bit of a turnaround, and I don't even think that you knew it was happening at the time. I think you were unaware of it as it was happening.
Right.
I feel like you kind of got your life in order a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And as soon as you got your life in order, because I mean, you've been crazy. Like, you've done all sorts of crazy stuff, and, you know, but I feel like your life is more structured right now than I've seen it be. I think almost since I've known you.
Yeah. No, I'm in a good place. You know, I have a woman that loves me. She looks after me. She motivates me when I don't want to get up in the morning for a walk. She's like, well, you know, he's probably going for a walk. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, but when he might be training than you know? And I'm like,
and it's funny because I feel like I have the same kind of relationship with Curtis, because, you know, I've been with Curtis since he's come in. Like, he's been right here. Like, he's at the club all the time. You guys are similar in a lot of ways. You both came into the sport strong. You guys actually have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
You have the same vices. You know, you're similar in strength. You're actually even similar in the way you arm wrestle. He's really hungry, and it was interesting. Like, earlier on, like about a year ago or whatever, like, you weren't doing much. Like, during the COVID period, you weren't doing a lot. And I remember, like, when I was talking about what was going on in Ontario, and Rick and Curtis were about to have a match, I was like, this match right here legit is for the number 2 spot in Ontario. Because I feel like you were kind of, you know, a little bit in hiding. And then you and I had a conversation, and you were like, yo, dude, what, you forget about me or something? And I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, I was like, geez, where is he? And then right away I was like, oh yeah, Ian can beat both these guys. I'm like, but at the time I wasn't sure. So,
well, I if we had a 3-way match that day that I was talking, I would be the 3rd favorite because I was inactive. You know, I've done some traveling to practice with people, and you know, I've been practicing with Rick, and I'm solid with him. You know what I mean? Like, my last practice, we were about 50-50. The practice before that, I was really dominant, but I've been beating myself up every day. Like, take a day off just because I got to practice tomorrow. You know what I mean? I had to practice on Thursday, and I trained the same day. You know what I mean? So it's just I'm not resting for practice, let's say, you know. And I have to be careful here because my tendons are pretty inflamed right now, my inside
Yeah.
elbow. So I definitely have to be smart. I'm looking at the calendar. I'm marking my workouts. I'm marking my weight. I'm marking what are my lifts. And I'm just I feel like here's the honest to God assessment of how I think things will go. If I'm within 5% of his strength, I will look 20% stronger. You know?
Yeah.
Can I get that strong in the short period of time?
Yeah.
Because look, when I came up, when Maddie was there, and with all due respect with yourself, you know, I saw you like elbow not on the pad, and you're trying to, and he's sitting there holding you. I was like, oh my God, this guy is ridiculously strong. I've never seen anybody do that with you. And I don't know what state you were in and how beat up you were or whatever, but regardless, you know, you can wake up, you know, with an elephant sitting on your arm and you'll beat half the planet. You get what I mean? So I was thoroughly impressed. And when he asked me, I knew he did it in such a polite way. It's like, look, no one of, you know, and he's a warrior, right? Like, I'm in, you know, that motivational video. I don't know if you've seen it, the one that you're talking and it's Chase winning. That really did something. That did something to me because I was like, that's what this kid's doing. Like he picked Rick Heidelberg, didn't get through that. He's like, well, what's the next big guy that I can make a name from? Okay, the Grippler, right? No one else wants to step up. Do you know what I mean? And the next big name that really could like be super interesting is his direct training partner in BLM. And it's like, you know, I understand, you know, it's tough to call out your direct training partner, you know?
Yeah.
But
he is strong, man. He is. I mean, he damn near ripped my arm right out of its socket on Monday. Okay. So I'll tell you, okay, that he's pretty much done on the table now.
Yeah.
We pulled on Monday and he beat the piss out of my left arm. I'm telling you, he was strong. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you guys, I'm so excited because Ontario has been such a home of strength in arm wrestling, in super heavyweight arm wrestling. You know, Mike Gould, Rick Barbe, Greg Boyce, Earl Wilson. I feel like these were our pinnacles of strength. And they've faded. And this is the new era in Ontario. You know, you are one of the dudes, Rick Heidelberg, me. And I'm telling you, well, you know,
Curtis, and I'll tell you, don't sleep with my son Liam. I'm telling you, Liam.
Right? Yeah. How old is he
training now regularly. He's training, and he's like shocking. I need the straps with Liam. Like I can't just pull. He'll blow right through me. I have to hold on to him.
His hand is too healthy. Yeah, his hand is too healthy and young.
Yeah, and he's fast and he's explosive. And he's starting to go to the gym, like our gym, and you do the hand stuff. I'm like, okay, you know, now you can see that it's in his head. That
is he 19 now?
He's still 19. Yeah. He's got, and once it kicks in, and he does manual labor for work. But you remember when I beat Greg Boyce? You were reffing.
That was at it was an outdoor event, right? Where was that?
Rib Fest. Okay. If that attack I'm bringing that one back for this match. I'm doing that setup and that sort of attack. And I'll be honest with you. I've told him. It's like no secret. I was like, I'm posting high and I'm hitting as hard with a hard cup and as fast as I can to that pin pad. And if I win 2-0, I'm not going to do the Zolev Hutchins thing. I'm going to fucking test them. Like I'm going to try to, you know what I mean? I'm going to go right in his power. I don't give a shit what happens. To me, the outcome isn't as important as what I know, right? If I flash the guy twice, you know I can do it a third time. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then, but I don't know if I'm stronger than him, and I want to find out.
It's so exciting. I think it's the biggest match on the card by a margin. Like,
You think? I think Manjin and Heidelberg is big too. It's big because Manjin is super, or was it not Manjin? What's his name? The other guy that just like Curtis.
It's
DeSormo, Brian DeSormo.
Yeah, Brian.
Like
Yeah.
Brian is really strong, really, really strong. Like strong.
I will be so shocked if Heidelberg doesn't just flatten him.
Well, I know, right? Because of the styles, and you know what I mean. But what if he doesn't?
Well, then that will totally shake things up. But to me, Heidelberg is a step above. I love to be surprised, but Heidelberg.
Rick is like phenomenal, and like I say, when people see, they're like, "Wow, you do pretty good with Rick," and I mean, Rick does well with me too, but it's familiarity. Like if you've never pulled Rick Heidelberg, you're in for a problem. Like you have a problem. You know what I mean? Because he's so strong, and he's got such great levers and a big hand, and and he's fit, and he can get tight now. He's really fit, right?
Yeah. No,
but,
it's super interesting.
I want to say this: Curtis is the first person in years that I'm actually afraid of. Like I'm afraid.
Well, that's good because I'm afraid of him too. Like,
you know what I mean? Like I no disrespect to Mike Aiello, I went in there arrogant. I really thought I was going to beat that piss out of him, and he had a great plan. Him and Dave Morocco did a complete like training camp for me, and I thought, okay, all right. After I found that out, I was like, okay, he seriously executed well. And then and Tom Nelson, I wasn't afraid of because I wanted to kill him because of the things that the lead up for it. Yeah. So I can't remember. I was a little nervous with Justin Major at the Toronto Pro Super Show just because he was such a big unknown for me.
Yeah.
Off Ready Go, and he was strong, and in one of the matches he cracked me over a little bit, and hell of a beat me left-handed. My left isn't my right, but so he definitely. But where I'm like, holy crap! If I don't really train, if I'm not prepared for this guy, Curtis could really embarrass me.
Curtis is probably in the last few years, without question for me, is the biggest talent that's come in here in Ontario. Like in terms of where he came in, and I feel like he's been under the Ottawa High Hooker tutelage like the whole time, and he's multi-clubbing it. He's in close with Evan and Brennan, and anytime that guy gets to be on a table, and I think COVID was really good for him, really, really good, because he's a gym junkie, and he wasn't allowed to go to the gym, so he just started doing arm wrestling lifts, and he didn't slow down. He just did arm wrestling lifts the whole COVID, and I remember like he's always been good. Once COVID hit and he stopped going to the gym and he's just doing wrist curls all day, like his level just went like he's had a few setbacks. Like when he pulled Rick, he was all like, he got sick and he had to go on antibiotics. But
well, that's what I was referring to I didn't, because he didn't put that out there.
No, but
he's not making it.
I know. No, I know he's not making excuses, but I know he was on antibiotics. Like, I mean, and I know that.
I know what that does too.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
Years ago, I pulled Brian Tamblin in a super match.
I remember.
I was on
Rib fest.
I was on the same antibiotic for the same thing.
Yeah.
And which we'll keep secret, but and I felt like Brian threw me off the table, and then I had never lost to Conrad Roussel left-handed ever. Even like the first year I was in the sport when we pulled, I'd beaten him, and he beat me. So I was like, clearly this antibiotic makes you weaker, like you don't physically feel weaker, like you're not like drained and walking around, but you're just not strong. You can't activate your, you know what I mean? And I had beaten Brian before that fairly convincingly, and he came in great shape though, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have beat me, I'm just saying that wasn't the guy, you know what I mean, that he was expecting, and I wasn't.
Yeah. I don't think that people are gonna be able to keep Curtis down. I think that he's gonna be recognized, internationally as just one of those guys who is really, really good. But I'm so excited about your match because I know both of you guys really well, and I think that you're both really strong right now. And you've got him in experience. He's probably been more focused for the last year than you have, but
that's it. Like year and a half of COVID training and being serious and having target decks, and then me just sort of like, oh, okay, I'll come back. I was sort of dabbling with, I'll pull Dalen, and then when he said, would you pull me? I mean, was I super excited to pull him with the shape that I was in when he asked? Fuck no. You know what I mean? I was like, no, yeah. But I respect the warrior spirit in him, and that he's not looking for, the easy way out. He could take other matches and look real good. You know what I mean? He wants to be great. And so I'm doing the best I can to get into a shape and a level that if he beats me, I can look at him and say, like, dude, you beat a legit version of me, and you should be proud, So I'm doing him a service. And the fact that he's training so hard and he's so strong is doing me a service, because regardless of what people fucking think out there about what Curtis is, you and I know what it is. And if I can beat him, then I'm like, you know what? I can beat a lot of other people too.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So let's say you win. Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
I win convincingly. I'm going to put $100 on the table. I'm going to be like, anybody in the crowd want a shot at this? $100 right here.
I'm going to be there. I'm coming for your $100.
I'll tell you, if I win convincingly, yeah, I would love to pull you. And look, 100%, I get it. You're totally on your down, you're relaxed and everything. It means fuck all, but I just want to see how strong I am.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do my best to be there. Right now I'm hoping I should be there. I think so. Matt Mask is in the province right now. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Matt's up in Timmins right now. Yeah. So I want to go up and visit him.
Yeah.
Probably on the 24th weekend, or I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. I'm going to try to get up there. I don't know if I can make it happen, but I got a weekend in Toronto planned. I got a weekend in Timmins, and then hopefully I go down and watch you guys in Wasaga. So
yeah, I would love
hopefully
that.
I'll be there. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well,
I got some things that I've been working on, and there's a surprise. I'm bringing something like that nobody's expecting.
Ooh, you got a King's move going on?
I got something that is just so beyond what people think that I'm capable of, and it's just like I'll only bring it out if fucking I'm desperate. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know all about that.
You think so?
I'm just teasing you. I don't know, man. I don't know. The first thing I think of is you're gonna get low, but I don't know.
Anyway, when I see you, okay, and you come close to me,
yeah,
you're gonna look at me and you're gonna be, fuck, something's different. And I'll give you a couple guesses, but we'll just, I'm not gonna say anything. You just tell me, like, you'll notice it. You'll be like, okay, that's weird, And okay. It's odd.
Now I'm looking at you. I don't see.
No, I'm purposely. I'm just, I'm hiding shit. Like, anyway, but
Well, now I'm intrigued. Might have to go to.
Look, in this sort of shortened period, I'll be honest with you. This is the hardest I've trained ever in a short period of time. Like, you can't cram for a PT test. I get it. You know what I mean? But like I said, I just want things to be firing, be tight. And I believe that I have advantages, and I'm more explosive than him. And there's no secret. My game plan, I'm trying to hit this guy with a ton aside, like something he's never felt before from anyone. Mm-hmm. be able to get my shoulder real close to my arm, keep it square, and maybe that gives you a hint as to how.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, how you never in my life have I ever been able to get as tight to my shoulder and to my arm as I will be that day. Like I'm already surpassed any version of me with that.
Well, it's the walking, isn't it?
There's walking. That's it. That's it. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it.
Okay.
And it's not just that my midsection is smaller. I mean, it's still going to be a big midsection. I'm fucking 300 and whatever pounds, but you'll see. And then I think when we get close to each other, you'll be like, oh, I get it. You know.
All right, everybody, listen. I'm gonna put Ian's links down below, and I'll put the link to the match with him and Pork Chop. It's the biggest match in Ontario that there's been in quite a while. I'm super pumped. Ian, thank you so much for coming on. I fucking love you, and I'm so looking forward to getting down there for the match. It's gonna be dynamite. So thanks so much for coming on, buddy.
You know, if you want, give me a shout offline. I'll tell you what's up.
Okay.
Bye.
Hold on.